I applaud the entire adult beverage community for their service during the
Yeah.
candy.
Yeah.
That's right. Time for Promo Upfront Podcast, episode number 47. I'm one of your hosts, Bill Petrie. With me, as always, the field marshal of frozen pizza, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how the hell are you today?
I'm doing well, doing well. It's this time of year where in Ohio it went from 50 to 90 in the course of like 2 days, and so all of the trees have lost their mind, and so the pollen count is, I don't know, 1 million, and so my allergies are acting up every time I go outside, and my eyes are swelling up and all that sort of thing. But that just tells me that spring is here and summer's on its way, and I like all that stuff. So how are you, bud?
I'm good. You say allergies. I hear excuses, but that's fine. I don't even know what that means. I just felt like saying it. No, things are going well. It's been a whirlwind week, just very busy, but things are going really well. And I'm just stoked about a lot of things on the horizon. You know what I'm really stoked about, though, Kirby?
What's that, Bill?
Thank you so much for knowing to ask in such a very, very direct way. I'm really stoked about using AMP. It's that beautiful end user friendly email developed by our good pals over at Promo Pulse. And they send it direct to your customers using content from the preferred suppliers you get to pick right off of Promo Pulse. It's like super easy.
Yeah.
It's not 10 minutes easy. That's easy. It's not even like 8 minutes easy, which is ridiculously easy. We're talking 5 minutes easy. You pick your suppliers, you upload your logo and your list, you customize your email and landing page with your logo and contact information. You set your sending frequency up to once a week, and a distributor can literally set it and forget it. And Kirby, I know you love the retail look of it. One of the distributors who uses AMP said it reminded him of Nordstrom, which is really, really cool. I know you're getting results out of AMP, and it's really kind of become a really important arrow in your quiver of sales.
Yeah, I love that arrow in my quiver. Yeah. And, at the end of the day, we both know that when Jason does something, he does it right. And he has developed it, from its beginning to where it is now. And the reporting on it is really cool. That's actually one of the things I really love, because whenever you're going to do something like this, we talk about brand marketing and direct marketing. This is a direct marketing piece. It's something that you can look at, you can measure. Hey, my clients are clicking on it. This is even like, I'm getting leads from it, and that's great. But when you see, just like a social media post, when you see your clients engaging with it, even if it isn't an order, it's piquing interest, it's creating brand value. And so I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear that. And my favorite testimonials from Kara Keister from Social Good Promotions. She said in just a few short months, she was in the beta group, just like I knew you were. In just a few short months, we've seen an increase in click-through purchases made directly from the product presented in the monthly email, and better engagement by our clients in advance of upcoming events. AMP has been a huge asset in keeping our sales pipeline full. I don't know who could say it better than that, quite honestly. That's fantastic. So there's over 2,000 suppliers to choose from. No customer list is too big. Each email includes 20 fresh posts of inspiration, and they use a combination of machine learning and human curation to find the best trending content for your clients. So you want to learn more about this. It is really kind of a game changer when it comes to email in our industry, email marketing for distributors. So head over to promopulse.io/AMP, A-M-P. You're not going to be sorry you did. Now, Kirby, you're about to display an incredible amount of courage by sharing what your upfront topic is this week in the world of the promotional products industry, merchandise for people and humans. What you got?
Yeah. So we were talking just before we started recording. Some weeks it's easy. Some weeks it's hard to come up with topics. I was a little more thin this week, but this was one that I've been thinking about. So, and it is promo related. So what got me thinking about this is I got the email saying that the Women's Leadership Conference is coming up. And obviously they're doing that virtually still. They just did Spark, right? They just did Spark.
They just did virtual Spark, I think about 2 weeks ago.
Yep. And again, I am quite confident that they will do those. Spark was probably really good. Women's Leadership Conference will be really good. But ASI Chicago is coming up, and it
Yep.
feels like every single person I'm talking to, and
Yeah.
so many of us are hungry to get back after it. I'm super curious to see what the attendance is going to be like. I guess my question is, and this is just to kick off the topic, is to say, do you think that this is going to be that first big event from the industry that's going to start kind of propel us toward opening back up, or is this going to be just another step? Or what's your take on ASI Chicago? Are you going, all that sort of thing?
I think it's a huge thing. I don't think it was intended to be. I know Tim was kind of trying to figure out, do we go ahead and go forward with ASI Chicago, or do we not? And he announced that ASI Chicago was going to be a live event weeks before the CDC mask guidelines changed. So he was very much ahead of the curve there. And I think it's a stroke of genius and brilliance by the folks at ASI. They took a gamble, and the gamble is paying off because the pandemic seems to be slowing quite a bit. The mask guidelines are being lifted, and so it's always a great event. ASI Chicago is always a fabulous event. It's kind of that signature midsummer event for our industry in terms of a trade show, and I think it's only going to be amplified by a magnitude of 1,000,
Yeah.
because I think you're going to see a lot of people there. Now, it's for me, I'm not going. I'd like to go. I'm not going because that is a week we've set aside just out of coincidence that we're going to do some fun things with the kids before they head off
Right.
to college. So,
Yeah.
not going to attend. I would like to attend. I'm
Yeah.
bummed that I'm not, but. I think it's a very bold, strategic move by ASI, and I applaud them for kind of being the first in our industry to do a national show,
Yeah.
and say we're doing it live and in person. We're going to have safeguards in place, and so what do you think about it, Kirby?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I'd heard somebody say, I think it's going to be like a big regional. And that may be the case from a numbers perspective. I think that's okay. But B, I think it's going to be a real opportunity for those suppliers. This is what's in my mind, is I think there are going to be some suppliers that you think that should be there that won't be there. Some people are still making those decisions. That's not a critique.
Right.
And then I think there'll be some smaller suppliers that will have a real opportunity to shine. Like if that won't be overshadowed by some of the bigger ones that aren't there. So I think the reason I think it's a real opportunity is I think that distributors are hungry for this because clients are hungry for this. And I say that to say, like, they're hungry for new ideas. They're hungry. I've got clients reaching out to me and asking me to meet them in person. People are, and every region's different. I totally understand that. But I think that people are going to come away from that show fired up. I think it's the beginning of sort of a launch of our industry back to some normalcy.
And you said something interesting that, people are saying it's going to be a large regional. I think in the PP world, the pre-pandy world, the pre-pandemic world, I think ASI Chicago was a large regional show.
Yeah.
I think the rules have now changed. I think this year, everybody's itching to get out. Everybody's itching to get in front of people. It is not a regional show. It is not a large regional show. It is a national show. And maybe this propulses it to being a national show going forward. So I don't know. It'll be very interesting. I just really applaud the leadership of Tim and the team over there at ASI. And I think it's fantastic. And I know you do too. Are you going to go?
So July it's funny. I'm not. I never go to ASI Chicago, not because of anything bad, but July is my month to do fun stuff. And if I do my annual golf outing, I do a family vacation. And so by the time I do those two things, I struggle to take the time out of the office. If it were in August, I'd probably do it. But
well, I understand July's your month to do fun stuff. I think going to ASI Chicago would be fun, but that's just me. And you can take that up with the good people at ASI. Kirby, let's move on, shall we?
Thanks for that.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Hand sanitizer overstock, Kirby. Hand sanitizer has become the fidget spinner of our industry in a very quick, very short order. I don't know if you saw this. so it was an article I saw actually at ASI. This is apparently, by the way, this podcast is not sponsored by ASI, but we do love our friends at the Institute of Specialty Advertising.
Yep.
Anyway, Brandon Mackey from Snugs McKay was quoted as saying, "The market has cooled in recent weeks and many suppliers have dated product that will expire and it will become urgent for them to sell them in the immediate future." So supply is way ahead of demand. Prices have tumbled. They're taking up space that could be used by other products that people are now buying because we're not so concerned with hand sanitizer anymore. Big discounts and giveaways, and I'm wondering. I want you to put yourself in the seat of a supplier where you kind of roll the dice a little bit, and you have a bunch of hand sanitizer. What do you do with it?
Yeah,
And it's dated product, so I mean, it's going to expire at some point.
yeah, it's interesting. I always say that we're at the tail end of the snake on a lot of trends. I'm literally still selling hand sanitizer,
Are you?
and I think, this week have, and I mean, we're talking people in healthcare. So
Yeah.
I think this is going to ebb and flow a little bit, and the product being dated is a great point. But I think, yeah, we were selling hand sanitizer before this.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, and I think it is upon us distributors to continue to tell that story. Guys, I get it. Cases are going down, but we still need to wash our hands. We still need to take care. And I think that's still a way that you can talk about taking care of your prospects and customers and your employees. And so, yeah, I'm still having that conversation. And I think continuing to double down, you asked about from a supplier perspective, is to continue telling that story that no, it's still important. Don't just back off of it because the trend is this. I think you still tell that story about how this is one of the ways, calendars are a million years old. Awards are a million years old. They still matter. And so I think it's just a matter of doubling down on telling the story.
I think you're right. And I would add to that. So I don't want to be the redundant man of redundancy here, but I would add to that where I think it's a different play now. Now it's not, hey, you need hand sanitizer on you at all times. I think the conversation is when you're traveling, you want to make sure to have that with you. It's smart.
Yeah.
We've learned, if there's things we've learned from the pandemic, there's a reason why people didn't get colds, didn't get sick. And one of those reasons is because people used hand sanitizer, maybe a little overboard. Maybe a little overboard at times, when we were, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, when we were concerned that the virus was going to be transmitted on plastic grocery bags and things like that. But to have that have a small 1 ounce bottle of hand san, that's what I call it, hand san.
Got it. Yeah, that's what the cool kids call it.
Right. So, but you can have that in your purse, your backpack, have one in your car. It's just a good thing to have. And I think so you talk about it just differently.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, it's funny you say that because, and this about me, I was the opposite of a germaphobe before this happened. I mean, you and I have been at stories where I saw people with hand sanitizer and I would mess with them. Right. Sorry, Mandy Rudd. But now I think it's one of those things where I think I've grown and evolved. Now, I'm still not a germaphobe by any stretch of the imagination, but I am more cognizant of it now. I now have hand sanitizer in my truck. Why? Because there are disgusting people out there, and I didn't. And so occasionally I get back in my truck and kind of layer up and try to be a little safer.
I have some in my car still, and I have it just because there's times I get in my car, I'm like, man, I wish I could wash my hands. Like, oh, I guess I can. So I think really though, in the grand scheme of things, the best news to come out of this is that the with demand completely tumbling, the distilleries that had switched to making hand sanitizer are back to making like vodka and tequila and whiskey. So I applaud the entire adult beverage community for their service during the candy.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
And speaking of that, I'd like to talk, if you don't mind, Kirby, I have something that's very near and dear to my Billy promo heart I'd like to share.
Okay.
And that would be my promotional product this week. Now, last week I had my father-in-law in town and my mother-in-law and family as we celebrated my kids graduating high school. And my father-in-law and I did a whiskey tasting.
I saw
and
the
it was
picture.
a lot of fun. Yep. Yeah, it was a great fun. And we used this fabulous 6-ounce Glencairn glass from J. Charles, which is it's number 333S2. And this is an actual official Glencairn glass. Got a beautiful, you can't see it if you're just listening to us, but a beautiful deep etch of the Brand of 8 logo.
Looks
and
great.
It really, the glass is designed to really open up a whiskey so that you can really get immersed in the actual situation. So it's the sights, it's the smells, it just envelops you. It's the whole experience. So really cool product here for someone who likes the finer things in life, or someone like me who just likes cool stuff. But it's really good glass, and it's very well made, and it's really, really cool. Awesome.
It's a cool looking glass. It really
Yeah, it
is.
is.
That's cool.
All right, Kirby, you got another topic for us?
All right. You know, I was going to go a different direction, but I want to go because of what you just brought up. I want to go with this one. We've spent a lot of time on things where it's like, okay, over the past year during this pandemic, there are things that we had to do differently. And I think that there are some things that we're like, oh my God, I can't wait to get back to ASI Chicago, right? Like in-person events. But I wanted to ask you, what did you change over the course of that pandemic, or this pandemic, that you'll keep doing? Like, so that we've changed our behaviors in a number of ways. And there's some things we changed, and I can go first because again, I know that I'm kind of dropping this on you. And there's a few things that I did that I'm like, oh, I'll keep doing that. And I'll give you just an example. High school. So like our local high school. Last year, we did videos for all the graduation ceremonies. We're not going to keep doing that. But one of the things they did to try and make seniors feel special is they did giant banners. We actually did them with Showdown, and we put them on the court square with pictures of all the graduating seniors. We did it again this year. Like, because we looked around, I was like, well, that's kind of cool. We should keep doing it. And so that's the spirit of the question, if that makes sense. So
yeah. So things I'll keep doing. I definitely will keep working from home.
Okay.
I mean, that was fair. A change. I'll definitely keep working from home. I think one of the things I'll also keep doing is I've really learned, one of the things I'm not good at times is stepping away. I am
working from home makes that even harder sometimes. Right?
It does. But one thing I've really introduced, the only money we really spent during the pandemic in terms of home improvement, we bought a sofa that the dog destroyed, but I had to replace that. But we spent money on our outside area, the back 40. And so got a couple more cooking vehicles, but that's beside the point. Got a TV out there and have a sound system out there, have a fire pit and all these things. And so when I need a break, because generally I'll just sit in here and just grind. I will go out there and either just take a deep breath, or sometimes I'll take my laptop out there and work. And that's been very, very helpful in terms of jarring my own creativity. So I'm going to make sure to keep doing that. That's become an everyday thing. And, I think the other thing I'll keep doing is really expanding my cooking horizons. So it's more of a personal thing, but I've learned to make very, very different things. Is not just, I know everybody thinks it's just a smoked meat festival, over here, but I've got probably 40 recipes I want to try this summer. There's some really cool salads. I want to learn how to do a couple other things. So I've really accelerated my learning during the pandemic. So I'm going to continue learning new things. And a lot of it's around cooking, and a lot of it's around things like that.
No, I like
that. That's what comes to mind. I'm sure it's not in the spirit of your question.
No, it's perfect. Again, there's no right answer. So it's funny, actually. I have one similar. So the first one might surprise you. So we had to do virtual events. And I almost repelled against them because I'm like, okay, we got to get back to live events. Virtual events is something I'll still do when done right, I talked to Mark Graham about this, and I'm like, I can't wait to, they're going to do SKUCon again this year. I'm in, I'm going to be there. Right. But he talked about one of the ways that it democratized some of those events that people who would never go to Vegas got to go. And I was like, he had and I think there's a place for both. So I would say, so virtual events is something I will actually continue some. And
like you said, if I can interject, when they're done well, and I know you mentioned Soapbox earlier, but they've done something that has created this very, it's very brief day for you. You can meet 4 suppliers and I love that they've hit on something 100%. Very, very cool there. So continue. I apologize.
Yeah, no, actually, and it leads nicely into the next one. So Zoom sales calls. So virtual sales calls, I will both giving and receiving. That's something that I didn't do a lot of in pre-pandemic. I will absolutely take those sales calls from suppliers, just like you talked about the promo soapbox, but other ones, I've gotten value out of those.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, hopping on a call with a client, I'll do that when it's appropriate, and that's been good. And then the final one I had was I actually didn't do a lot in this area, but I'm looking forward going, I want to do some improvements to my home. If COVID has taught us anything, if I am going to be quarantined or stuck someplace, I want it to be a place that's an oasis for me. And that's some things that I want to work
Very
on.
cool.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Great question. All right. Kirby, I called you at the top of the podcast, the Field Marshal Frozen Pizza, and there was a reason.
I had a feeling.
Are you familiar with DiGiorno frozen crust rising
yeah.
pizza? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you a fan? Do you like the
I
frozen
like
pizza?
DiGiorno. Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. I don't know if you know this, but they're bringing the merch. As we've talked about this, they're bringing the promotional products, Kirby.
Okay,
they're sold exclusively on their website, and I want to share a couple, if I may, if with your permission, sir.
100%. Can't wait to hear.
Cheesy sliced pizza socks.
Okay.
Croissant crust pillows. There's 2 sizes: throw and floor.
Okay.
Pizza and croissant Tervis tumbler.
Nice.
An actual branded Tervis tumbler.
Love it.
A wall clock that tells you it's always time for DiGiorno pizza.
Love it. Okay.
And of course, you got some apparel. You have a rising crust pizza hoodie.
Okay. The hoodie
and then a croissant crust pizza lounge set.
Okay.
And so I don't want to ask a question like, okay, what do you think about that? I think we all love the tie-ins for promo. Anytime you can get promo involved, and obviously larger companies are using it and they're using it publicly,
right,
as opposed to just for like sales meetings, things like that. But I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and as I prepared, Kirby. Okay. Now you have some fast food restaurants in Coshocton, Ohio, and I'd like
you are fascinated with Coshocton, Ohio here recently.
I love Coshocton.
Okay.
Well, you are the captain of Coshocton. There's no question about that. I'd like to know what you would recommend for the following fast food outlets in Coshocton. Okay. So this is going to be geared toward the Coshochtonites. Is that
all right? I love it.
Are you a Coshoctonite?
Sure. Coshoctonian.
Coshoctonian. Oh, I like that. That's very regal sounding. Taco Bell.
Okay. So what kind of
promotional product would you suggest to get more people to go to Taco Bell and Coshocton with the Coshochtonians?
Whatever. Absolutely. So
being the target audience.
Yeah, I would say the thing that pops into my head is some sort of backpack or like a drawstring backpack, depending on your budget or whatever. But I think you could do some really cool. Not only I think that would make sense for the folks who go there, but I think it would also be a great billboard walking around Main Street in Coshocton.
Like it. Hardee's. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Hardee's and you live on the West Coast, it's Carl's Jr. It's the same restaurant. So Hardee's, Kirby.
P.S. That makes no sense. They should pick a lane. And I really like Hardee's. So, or Carl's Jr.
Yeah. I just want to know who Carl is.
Yeah. I just tell me what it is. I'm good either way.
Okay.
So pick a lane. That would be my number one thing. Yep. Okay. Let's see. So if you don't know, they're very well known for their burgers. They make big, like audacious burgers. So maybe this is strange, but like some sort of towel. So like a beach towel or like a rally towel where you could literally talk about, you need a towel this big to clean up after having a burger
you could do
that big.
You know how the fast food restaurants, you have like brown napkins that are folded weird? You could maybe do a towel in that type of presentation.
Absolutely. They have some attitude about their, like, they put a thing out because they will bring out your burger to you. They used to, back when you could eat in a place. And they had a thing that said, if our burgers look like that, we wouldn't bring them to you either, or something like that. And I'm like, I almost would put something like that on it, that would, something with a little shade.
It so far. Only two more.
Yeah, it's fine.
Dairy Queen, but this is very, I want to be very clear on this. This is a brazier Dairy Queen, which means that they cook in that Dairy Queen. So it's not just your dipped cones and your dilly bars and things like that. You can actually get like a Texas Hunger Buster and all sorts of other things there. So Kirby, what say you? I'm making you think this week.
I like it. By the way, is this the game or is this just a topic?
No, this isn't the game. This is the topic.
Okay, this is just okay. So
it's just so fun. It feels like a game.
Yeah, that's right. It does. Okay, so I'm going to go with some sort of cooler bag.
I love it.
Yeah. So obviously, keep your food, but it would keep your ice cream if you put it in there
Okay.
too. So I'm thinking the one that pops in my head is there's a thin one, Urban Peak from Starline that kind of has a little like
Love
soft
that.
cooler bag is what.
We are showcasing your creativity. Last one, Kirby, KFC.
Oh, I love KFC.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I did not know you were such a big fan.
So it's funny. My whole life with KFC, I always thought it was kind of expensive, and then I finally figured out how to order. And so, well, I mean, for fast food, like
Yeah.
you can drop $30 on a bucket of chicken like that. And
Can you?
like,
I have no idea.
I'm super cheap. So,
You're
okay.
thrifty.
Yeah, yeah, I'm also cheap. If it's not on sale, it's not for sale. Okay, so a promotional product for
KFC. For whatever whatever.
God, feels like it has to do something with a bucket, right? So I think you could have some fun with an apron.
Okay.
Like, so if I budget wasn't a thing, I actually think some sort of grilling kit. So
Okay.
you could actually literally have a bucket and put it in the bucket. And so it's a bucket of chicken and a grilling set that included an apron, tongs, so that you could, and maybe like some sort of seasoning that came from KFC.
I like your bucket idea. I was actually, when you said that, I'm like, how cool it would be? Because you do a plastic beach bucket in summer for kids with the bucket there. All right, good stuff. So that's fun. Hey, how about a game?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, Bill, this is called Bill Mailed It In this week.
No, this is great. This is fun.
So this game is called Rumble in the Jungle, Kirby versus the Beast. So there was a recent survey by YouGov of people, and they polled folks if they could beat specific animals, if they could you could beat them in a fight if they were unarmed. Okay. So what I'm going to ask you is, you're unarmed. I'm going to ask you specific animals. Could you beat them in a fight? That I'm not going to tell you, does it mean you kill them? Can you beat them in a fight? Okay. And I'll give you the percent of people who said they could beat these animals in a fight. Okay. So this is Kirby Hasseman versus the Beasts. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So I'll just ask the question. Start. Which of the following animals, if any, do you think you could beat in a fight if you were unarmed?
Okay.
Okay. Rat.
Yeah. That dude's dying.
Okay. 72% said they could beat a rat. House cat.
For days.
Okay, 69% said they could do that. A goose.
Wait, time out. More people struggle to beat a cat than a rat?
By 3%, yes.
Okay, all right. That makes me sad for folks. But
a goose, Kirby.
So a goose is actually more intimidating than you think if you've ever walked up on one.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. If it came down to it, I'm beating that in a fight.
All right, 61% of the respondents said they could also take a goose.
Yep.
Medium-sized dog.
Of course.
Okay, absolutely. 49%. Only 49% that said they could do that.
Yeah, I think with dogs, it really has to do with voice control. And if you've ever been out on a run and one's charged you, and like not medium-sized dogs, I have big dogs come at me when on runs. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, if you say so. Eagle, bald eagle. And be careful here, because you're saying you're going to beat up Americans.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not. No, I'm joking.
I was actually thinking that. I'm like, great. Somehow I'm going to piss off America.
I wanted to lay a bear trap for you. Think you could beat an eagle?
I think if it came down to life or death, I'd figure out how to live. Okay. But I don't know about that. Those are some mean-spirited things.
Only 30% of people said they could beat an eagle. Okay, Kirby, large dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, only 23% of people said they could do that. Chimpanzee.
God, chimpanzees are so cute. I wouldn't want to beat up a chimpanzee.
When they're angry.
Oh, no, I get it.
They're angry, and they always go for your lower front bottom. So you have to be very careful with the chimpanzee. I do not. I just... Maybe I did a little research, Kirby. Yeah. Maybe I did my own research.
I get my natural reaction is to think I'm going to win in a fight. So I'm going to say yes, but I struggle. I've seen Planet of the Apes.
Okay. 17% so they could beat a chimpanzee. King Cobra.
Yeah. I'm going to say No.
Okay, I agree. Only
Yeah.
15% said they could best a king cobra.
I mean, again, I would try, but it's a matter of getting it by the head. Like,
Yep. Here, king cobra. I just did that one. Kangaroo.
I was gonna say, what just happened?
Kangaroo.
Yeah, I think the kangaroo would take me, especially if it's a full size kangaroo. Those things are bigger than you think.
14% said they could beat up a kangaroo. A rabid wolf.
A rabid wolf. Okay.
Yeah, I added the rabid part. It's really just wolf, but it sounds much more intimidating when you throw the word rabid in front of it.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I don't.
Let's go with wolf.
I don't love my chances with a rabid wolf.
Okay, 12% said they could beat a wolf. Crocodile.
No, absolutely.
9% of people think they can beat a crocodile unarmed.
Yeah, and good for them. Here's your PSA of the day. If you run into a crocodile, they're really fast. So, but they have tunnel vision. So run zigzag away from them because they're dumb as shit.
All right, only 4 more, Kirby. A gorilla.
Nope. Like I'd love to say I could, but no.
But this is what I find fascinating. 8% of people think they could take a gorilla.
I mean, maybe 8% of them are The Rock, but I'm not.
I don't think a rocket. I don't think Dwayne Johnson could take a gorilla. All right, Kirby, elephant.
Of course not.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, they're ginormous.
Yeah. 8% said they could beat an elephant. Lion.
Again, we've gotten to the area where I'm introspective enough that a lion would take me.
So 6%. The last one's a grizzly bear. You're going to say no. What baffles me about this: 6% of people think they could take a grizzly bear unarmed.
Absolutely, most of them live in Appalachia. I know these people.
That's just dumb. But you know what's not dumb, Kirby? That's using AMP if you're looking to send really classy looking emails to your clients from a distributor perspective, but you don't want to do a lot of work. We said it was easy. I don't think that's fair. It's super easy, folks. That's right. 5 minutes easy. You pick your suppliers, you upload your logo and your list, you customize your email and landing page with your logo and contact information. You set your sending frequency, which is up to once a week, and a distributor can literally set it. And what, Kirby?
They can forget it. And if I can say,
you can say
it's
whatever
really
you like.
Easy, but it also looks really nice, which is super important. Like it looks great.
It's extremely elegant. It's it's an email that's designed to be opened. Right. Okay. Yeah. A lot of emails we all see aren't. These are designed to be open. So you want to learn more, head over to promopulse.io/AMP, AMP. And you're not going to be sorry you did. Well, I, for one, Kirby, I'm scared to see you the next time because you think you can beat up a king cobra, possibly a chimpanzee, large dog, eagle, medium-sized dog, goose, rat, and house cat. I am very scared of you now.
Seriously?
Cats freak me out.
That's right.